Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining. We'll start. Sorry for the delay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Shrunutam Swagata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridayantasto Hyabadrani Vidnoti Suhrutsatam Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Thank you all for joining. We are in the daily Bhagavata Seva, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We are in reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2. We are in text 13. So let me share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mataji. So I will, in the interest of time, I will say, and you can repeat yourself. अतः पुंभिर्द्विजश्रेष्ठा वर्णाश्रमविभागशः स्वनुष्ठिस्तस्य धर्मस्य संसिद्धिर्हरितोषणम् अतः पुंभिर्द्विजश्रेष्ठा वर्णाश्रमविभागशः स्वनुष्ठितस्य धर्मस्य संसिद्धिर्हरितोषणम् अतः पुंभिर्द्विजश्रेष्ठा वर्णाश्रमविभागशः स्वानुष्ठितस्य धर्मस्य संसिद्धिर्हरितोषणम्. Word to word translation. Atah, so, Kumbihi, by the human being, Dvijashrestha, O best among the twice born, Varna Ashrama, the institution of the four castes and four orders of life, Vibhagajaha, by the division of Swanustitasya, of one's own prescribed duties, Dharmasya, occupational, Samsiddhihi, the highest perfection, Hari, the personality of Godhead, Toshanam, pleasing. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace S. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O best among the twice born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to caste divisions and orders of life is to please the personality of Godhead. Purport. Human society all over the world is divided into four castes and four orders of life. The four castes are the intelligent caste, the martial caste, the productive caste, and the laborer caste. These castes are classified in terms of one's work and qualification and not by birth. Then again, there are four orders of life, namely the student life, the householder's life, the retired, and the devotional life. In the best interest of human society, there must be such divisions of life. Otherwise, no social institution can grow in a healthy state. And in each and every one of the above mentioned divisions of life, the aim must be to please the supreme authority of the supreme personality of Godhead. This institutional function of human society is known as the system of Varnashrama Dharma, which is quite natural for the civilized life. The Varnashrama institution is constructed to enable one to realize the absolute truth. It is not for artificial domination of one division over another. When the aim of life, that is realization of the absolute truth, is missed by too much attachment for indriya priti or sense gratification, as already discussed herein before, the institution of the Varnashrama Dharma is utilized by selfish men to pose as artificial predominance over the weaker section. In the Kali Yuga or in the age of quarrel, this artificial predominance is already current. But the saner section of the people who know it well that the divisions of the castes and orders of life are meant for smooth social intercourse and high thinking self realization or not for any other purpose. Herein, the statement of Bhagavatam is that the highest aim of life or the highest perfection of the institution of Varnashram Dharma is to cooperate jointly for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 4.13. So we'll say the pranam mantras before we start. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes to the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapurvata Swami Nityanamani Namacharya Padani Kaikapatra Gaurikada Tamkaya Nagaramatarini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, just to give a brief context, we have been discussing about the 6 questions that the sages of Naimisharanya posed to Sri Suta Goswami and the answers that Suta Goswami starts giving. So, first, in one of the questions, or the second question that the Goswami, I mean the sages in the Naimisharanya ask is in chapter 1, canto text 11, Yenatma Suprasidati. There are so many scriptures, all of them have many prescribed duties which can be learned, and it takes many years to study all those. So they are asking Suta Goswami, what give the essence of all the scriptures which will satisfy their hearts, the people who are their hearts. We discussed in 110 about the people of Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga are Manda Buddhi, Manda Bhagya, and Alpa Ishu, means they cannot live for long, and it takes many years to read these scriptures. So the sages of Naimisharanya are asking Suta Goswami, so give us the essence so that they will be able to take the essence. They don't have to spend that many years, and they will be able to get full satisfaction. And so we see the word suprasidati, and Sutta Goswami gives the direct answer. He says that, so we know that the popular verse, right? Savai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshajay ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati, means the paro dharma, the ultimate dharma is bhakti, which is ahaituki apratiha, means unmotivated and unalloyed, uninterrupted, and only then it will completely satisfy the self. If we don't follow the bhakti yoga, whatever we are following in our life will not give full satisfaction, and that is the essence. So yeah, essence means the ultimate thing, right? So if we don't take the essence, and if we say no, in Vedas it's mentioned that you have to do this yagna, or you have to do this process, do this ritual to get the satisfaction, yes, nobody is stopping, but that is not the essence. So you can do that yagna, and as per the prescription you will get the result. Or you say that I want to get a job, I want to get a nice wife, or do this, you will get that. But if you don't do the bhakti yoga, whatever result you got from the yagna will be causing only more misery later. But if you use that process to follow the prescribed thing, which is following the bhakti yoga, then whatever you are getting, whatever you are doing, whether you are doing the rituals or you are just following the simple process of bhakti yoga, patram pushpam phalam toyam, just offering whatever you have, or yat karosi yadasnasi, means whatever you do, whatever you give, whatever you eat as an offering to Krishna, that will give complete satisfaction. But if that bhakti is missing, then you can follow scriptures or whatever you do, it will only be causing more misery only. It will not give satisfaction. It might be give some satisfaction, but it is not complete satisfaction. And Sotu Goswami continues, by rendering devotional service on to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, one immediately acquires the causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. So people will think that, oh, these guys are not following not reading Vedas, not reading this Brahma Sutras, Vedanta Sutras. They are not, they don't know anything, all these things, and they think that these people are just saying, chanting Hare Krishna, and they are thinking that they will achieve everything. But that is what essence means. Essence means that if you follow Bhakti Yoga, the causeless knowledge and the vairagya that is needed automatically comes. It is not the other way around. If you are following the other way around, which is reading the Vedas, following the rituals, trying to get the knowledge, Upanishads, which says Brahman, Paramatma, and it focuses mostly on Brahman, says that Brahman and Atman are the same. There is no difference. Of course, there is no difference, but there is Parabrahman, but that comes only in the essence. So if you are following that, then it will take many many years, and finally when you are like 60, 70, then you are about to reach the essence, then you have some health problem and you will stop. But that is not needed. That is the essence. Essence is in this Kali Yuga. If okay, if we are Alpa Ishu Mandabuddhi Mandabhagya, so if a father has four kids and he knows one kid is lame, one kid is dumb, one kid is not doesn't have the ability. If the criteria is still put the same thing where you have, if the father says only you have to climb the whole entire hill, only then I will give you my mercy, then the Lord is not all merciful. He says that you don't have to climb the whole hill. There is one small rock. I just want to see if you really want to come back to me or not. Just put a little effort to climb that small rock. Then I will give my full mercy. That's what he did in Kali Yuga. You don't have to go to read this Vedanta Sutras, Brahma Sutras, pose as a learned person, say Vedic mantras like anything, and look down upon people who don't know those mantras. No, just follow Bhakti Yoga. Just do chanting. Just show that God, I want to come back to you. I just want to get on the small rock. Then he will show his mercy immediately. So the next one he says is these occupational activities of the man performs according to his own position or only useless labor if they do not provoke the attraction of the message of the personality of Godhead. Shrama eva hi kevalam means whatever activities that we are doing in our life, if we are not, if they don't provoke, if they don't create any attraction to the Supreme Lord, then it is unnecessary effort, useless labor. Shrama eva hi kevalam, and that context is continuing into this verse also, which is what is the essence of this varnashrama vibhaga. Atah pumbir dvijashrestha varnashrama vibhagasha swanustitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. O best among the twice born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's occupation according to the caste divisions and orders of life is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Haritoshanam. So, what we can understand is that whatever this Varnashrama is prescribed for us, we have to follow it, but not if we are following a process, there will be a goal, right? Why we are following the process? That goal is Haritoshanam, not for our own sense gratification. That is for the satisfaction of Hari only. Let's see what. Let's take one step back, right? In it is mentioned in Hitopadesha verse 25, Ahara Nidra Bhayamaitunam cha Samanyam Yetat Pashubir Naranam Dharmo hi Tesham Adiko Vishesho Dharmena Hina Pashubi Samanaha. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. These four principles are common between humans and animals. The distinction between human life and animal life is dharma. A human being who does not follow the dharma is equal to an animal. So what's happening in the current society? The problem we have, people are working day and night like animals for sense gratification only. They are just spending time in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Of course, I myself was also there, like not focusing, not knowing what dharma is, and many people in the current society are still there. But even those who think that they are following the dharma are following it only for their sense gratification. Means people like next level is they go to the temple, they follow some puja, they do some ritual. But why are they saying that God, I want to satisfy you? No, God, give me this, give me that, give me that, give me that. So that is all still for their own sense gratification only. So and that is what is mentioned as a problem. Like it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, verse 31 of chapter 5. Nate vidu swartagatim hi Vishnu durashaya ye bahiratta maninaha. Means, in the essence of time, we will read the first two lines, which is persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life. They cannot understand that the ultimate goal of life is to return back home, back to Godhead, and by engaging in the service of Vishnu. They are like blind men guided by other blind men and fall into a ditch, and because all those things, and they accept some false leaders as their guru, because if some person in a society comes and says, take this mantra, all your problems will be solved, they run to them. And if someone come and chant, and you will chant 16 rounds and spend 2 hours and then follow these four regulative principles, which is no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit, no gambling. Oh, this is very hard. No, no, I don't want to go there. But people like and it is like blind people leading the blind. The blind people want to get cheated. So they say, if someone comes and says that, oh, you have whatever you're doing is correct, you have to satisfy your own senses only, forget about God, then do this ritual and everything will become happy, then most of the people will run there. Only uh, rare people, right? Um, that verse is there, right? The Mahatmas are very rare to find. Those people will come to Krishna consciousness. So that is what is mentioned in the previous two verses also, which is all occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Furthermore, according to the sages, one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational service should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification. So this is the word we will come across a lot, which is sense gratification. Life's desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life of self or self preservation, since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth. Nothing else should be the goal of one's work. So, what we have to do is we have to do work. But why work? Work is only the process. But what is the goal? What is the our purpose? Is it for sense gratification or is something else? That is what we have to understand. If we don't have the knowledge, then we'll do it for our own sense gratification. But if we do it for the satisfaction of Vishnu, that is the ultimate purpose. And even that is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita itself. In the yoga ladder concept is introduced in verse 30 of chapter 3. Krishna says, O Arjuna, surrendering all work unto me with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, no claim of proprietorship, and free of lethargy, fight. So he is giving different things, which is surrendering all work, full knowledge of me, without desire for profit, with no claims of proprietorship, and free of lethargy. And if we take one quality, and if we all apply all qualities, then we reach at the level of bhakti yoga. But for example, we are in the last step, which is people who are not following Krishna consciousness or any even the process of karma kanda is in the animal life, which is they are lethargic. They disregard and they follow the Vedic injunction. Their only purpose of life is sense gratification, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Then, if they don't have the lethargy, means they are inquisitive. I want to understand what is the purpose of life, but they still have the claim for proprietorship. Aham mameti, this is mine, this is mine. So what they do, they still work for sense gratification, but they perform Vedic rituals for their work to be successful and get good results, and that is called karma kanda or gnana kanda. Or even they read Vedic scriptures to know this yoga process, that your ritual and all, only for their sense gratification. That proprietorship is still there. Then they think that okay, everything belongs to God, but they still desire for profit. How? Which is they understand that the Supreme Lord is there. Whatever they do is for them, but their satisfaction is still there. The goal is still self-satisfaction, although it might not be gross like here, might be subtle like name, fame, adoration. Like you see all the learned people in the society who post that there is God, they say, but then they will see like if they want to show off as great gurus. They want a large number of followers. They will cheat. Mithyachara is the word used in Bhagavad Gita, means false gurus. They pretend to be gurus, but behind their mind, they know that they are doing it for name, fame, adoration, appreciation. Some people will write great songs about the Supreme Lord, but then they go into the stage and they present the poems and the songs they write, and people when they clap, they will, oh, I see, I great, they wrote this nice songs. They follow the Vedic injunctions, and they are like great musicians. They do, they perform very nicely on the stage, and they are definitely they have been practicing that from lifetime after lifetime. But the problem there is they still do it for they, their own subtle sense gratification. Of course, they are following this yoga process, but ultimately, when you reach the step of the only goal of life is satisfaction of Krishna with by full surrendering and full knowledge of Him, without expectations of any name, fame, then you reach the level of bhakti yoga. And people who are in this step need not go through this, first do gnana kanda, then do gnana yoga. We are given the bhakti elevator, which is to go from here to here directly, which is to chant the holy name of the Lord. If we start chanting, what it does is the same thing it is mentioned, that the knowledge and the detachment will automatically come, gnana and vairagya. You don't have to go through this ladder one by one, and that is what we have. And how to do that is by simply following the varnasrama system, which is what Krishna says also in Bhagavad Gita, that Chaturvarnam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasana, means according to the three modes of material nature of and the work associated with them, the four divisions of society were created by me. Krishna did not say Janma, based on Janma the Vibhagasana happened. No, it is based on Guna and Karma. Each of us were born in different families and time, place, circumstance, and each of us have different bodies, and based on that, different gunas will come. But that doesn't mean that our uh, it is based on by birth. We are basically following one type of varna. It is what we guna is based on and what karma we do. So there are so many examples in the history where the varna is not set. Because if you take Valmiki, he was not a Brahmana by birth, but he wrote Ramayana. Similarly, Vishwamitra is a Kshatriya, but he became a Brahmana later. So it's not, but only in the modern society these rules were made very rigid by converting it to caste. Caste is a concept that is alien to the Hindu Dharma, which is based on castos, which is called lineage in Portuguese or different language, which means that by birth. So the problem in the society arose when you combine this Varna and castos and made this caste concept, which is incompatible with the Sanatan Dharma. So people were so many confusion. Like if even if somebody is born of a Brahman and then if they did not do this any proper processes, they did not follow anything, their children are also being treated as Brahmanas. But although they don't have the qualifications, they are not doing the Brahmana karma. They don't have the Brahmana gunas, and they are still following as Brahmanas. That's why. Give me 1 minute. So basically, the guna karma vibhaga, so based on the work that they do and the uh, guna that they acquired. And then Bhagavad Gita Krishna also says that, but let's say that we don't know how the process of converting from one varna to the other. But of course, ISKCON has set the process where it has given the ability for everybody to become gain the Brahminical qualities and become Brahmanas. But let's say we don't know that. Even then, this process of Bhakti Yoga is so much easy that we need not be Brahmanas, we need not be Kshatriyas, we need not be twice born. We just even in any society we can be Shudras. If we follow the Bhakti Yoga process, we can achieve the ultimate goal, and that is what we have to follow, which is uh, use all our effort. And in the Kali Yuga, people the prescribed method is chanting. Harir Nama, Harir Nama eva kevalam, kalau nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyata. Means in this age of Kali, the only means of deliverance is chanting of the holy name, chanting of the holy name, chanting of the holy name. If we do this, there is no other way. And it is mentioned three times to stress the importance, which means that Karma Yoga is not the process, Jnana Yoga is not the process, the Ashtanga Yoga is not the process. It is Bhakti Yoga only that is the process for this age. And the Bhakti Yoga achievement is also very easy. And in terms of Bhakti Yoga, when we come, um, the Bhakti Yoga also it has two steps, which is the Sadhana Bhakti and Sadhya Bhakti. The 9 steps in devotional service, which we know, right? Which is Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, um, Ruchi, like that. So basically, which means that the first 7 steps are still in the process. When we start following the Bhakti Yoga, which is chanting the holy name, we cannot think that, oh, I already achieved the mercy of the Lord. No, we are still putting our effort. And once we reach the last step, which is Bhava Bhakti, then we will be able to transcend from this material world and reach to the spiritual world. And then if we achieve the 9th step, which is Prema, of course, Prema also can be divided into subcategories, which is more difficult. Like when we read the Nectar of Devotion, we'll redefine those. But essentially, for our thing, we have to follow these steps. And then In yesterday's class, Gopikanta Babuji was mentioning about the different categories of the devotees. So we should all strive to go from one level to the other. Initially, we are all in the Kanishtadikari stage, and then we go to the Madhyamadikari stage, and finally we all have to try to achieve to go to the Uttamadikari stage. And how can we do that? It is not anywhere still the same thing, which is the chanting process. The chanting process has three steps, which is three levels of chanting, which is Nama Parada, Nama Pasa, and Shuddha Nama. Means when we are chanting initially, our mind is going here and there. Our mind is not focusing on the holy name. So it is Nama Parada. We are making some, and also we are making so many offenses to the other devotees and all. But once we hold off our offenses and start focusing, then we are in the Nama Pas, means trying to put the mind back to bringing back to the holy name focus. And once we are completely focused on the supreme, the holy name, and we come to the stage of Shuddha Nama, then we are able to achieve the next ultimate level, which is the coming to the Uttamadikari stage. But until then, we are like going from oscillating back and forth within Kanishtadikari and Madhyamadikari, and we have to still use the same process, which is the chanting process. So, in conclusion, what we have to understand is the Varnashrama Dharma prescribed by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is the process to reach the goal of life, which is to satisfy Vishnu, Haritoshna, which is mentioned in this verse. Problem with the modern society is that they don't know anything about this Varnashrama system, forgetting about following it. Those who are following it don't know the real purpose, which is to satisfy Vishnu or Krishna, and are following it to satisfy their own senses. They even present themselves as learned men, saintly men in the society only to mislead the general public, like blind leading the blind. So essentially, we must control our desire for sense gratification and follow the system to reach the level of Bhakti Yoga, and then from there to the Ananya Bhakti stage, which is what is Ahaituki Apratihata, means Ananya Bhakti, which is the ultimate goal of life. With that, I conclude. Any questions or comments or corrections?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In
Hare Krishna,
the
Prabhuji.
in the starting of the verse, they mentioned twice born. So can you please explain a little bit more, Prabhuji, on that?
Yeah, so Suta Goswami was telling to the Brahmanas, the twice born of the twice means they are all Brahmanas who are assembled there. Twice born means of the four categories of the people, the three categories are the Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishyas are twice born, and the fourth category Shudras are not twice born. What is the twice born means is you have to follow a particular purificationary process when you reach around the age of 10 to 12 years old, which is to say that yes, previously there used to be gurukulas where the all the students used to, when they are young, they used to go and attend, and the person who is the guru who is leading the gurukula, who would assess based on the same thing, right, guna karma. They will see what the qualities of this person is and what his abilities are. Then the guru will decide, okay, this person is qualified to become a kshatriya, to become a brahmana, even though the person might be a son of a brahmana or kshatriya or shudra, whatever. Then they will purify. If they think that the person is qualified, then they will do this purificatory process, and they will tell them, okay, now from today onwards you follow the brahmanical process. From today onwards you follow the kshatriya process, or today onwards you follow the Vaishya process, and they will give the sacred thread, and that's why they are called as twice born. And nowadays, that purificatory process is not there, and even the and in the previous ages, a Brahmana person has high affinity to become son with high affinity to become a Brahmana, because the Brahmana father and mother, they used to follow all the samskaras before getting a child. There is a set of mantras that you have to read before conceiving and all those. Then automatically Vishnu will enter into their family and into the mother's womb and make sure that the person who is coming is delivered as a Brahmana qualities also. But those purificatory processes are not followed now. So by default in Kali Yuga, everybody is a Shudra, Kalau Shudra Sambhavaha. That's why this purificatory process is required. And that's why if everybody by default is a Shudra, and if they have to become other Varna, they have to be twice born, means they have to take birth again, which a guru or a learned person will do that. I hope that answered the question.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, in short, you will have two births. One is material birth, like mother and father, and second one is spiritual birth. When Guru accepted you, they will give a name to the soul, and then the time you will have a spiritual birth. All initiation process is called second birth. That means Dvija means you have two births. Yeah, so from that onwards, after the purification happened, you will lead a purified life on the basis of, on the conscious of you are a spirit soul, you are the servant of the God.
One question related to the same thing, like the people who will follow they're part of the Bhakti Yoga and they will continue with Krishna conscious, they should remember that they should they need to act like a purity, so without expecting anything. And if they'll continue like this with this Krishna conscious, with the purity, with the Bhakti Yoga, and this is the second birth, and hopefully there will be no birth. Is there something like that?
Yes. So when you come to the process of Bhakti Yoga,
Mhm,
basically you are trying to satisfy the Supreme Lord, and you are essentially saying, Supreme Lord, I surrender my life to you. So
mhm.
Supreme Lord takes control, and from then on, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he is promising, if you reach to the stage of pure bhakti, yoga kshemam vahamyaham, means I take complete control of your life, and whatever you have, I will preserve, and whatever you lack, that you lack to reach liberation, I will come and give to you, and that will be your last birth.
Oh, okay. That is good. Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, it's just I'm learning that. Another
Okay.
question, sorry, last question, very quick question. Attachment. So, for example, I like so much my daughter. Okay, I have so much attachment with her. Still, these kind of things also still slowly need to avoid it. I know she's growing back, it's growing like she's 13, 14 years old. Slowly, the attachment will go down because they'll have their own activities, but how the attachment will impact for in this Bhakti Yoga. In
So
this,
that is the best feature of Bhakti Yoga. In Bhakti Yoga, you don't have to artificially detach from anything. You
mm-hmm,
just have to put Krishna in the center. Means if you want to love
mm-hmm,
your daughter through Krishna. Means whatever you are attached to your daughter, bring Krishna in the center. Like for example, if you want to give a nice gift to your daughter, give a
mm-hmm,
Krishna conscious gift. If you want to take her to a nice vacation, plan in such a way that you also use the trip to take her to a Krishna conscious place like a temple or a dham. Use the
mm-hmm.
Krishna consciousness. So now you are bringing Krishna into the center. So it
Okay,
no longer becomes your attachment to your daughter. It becomes an attachment to Krishna, and your daughter is helping you in the process.
okay, okay, okay. The Lord will also help and He will take care of it.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you,
Hare
sir.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I had one point. If I am wrong, please correct me. You told like you no need to be a Brahmana, you no need to take twice born, right? But as people are following Bhakti Yoga and they are taking initiation, right? That is twice born only, right? Can you
No.
please?
So yeah. So twice born, like Prabhu was saying that it is the spiritual birth which is to realize, but actually the twice born is also with getting the sacred thread, which is the Varnashram Dharma. That is to become a Brahmana. And for Bhakti Yoga, the second initiation is not mandatory to go back home, back to Godhead. The Harinam initiation is something which is saying that I am ready to surrender my life to the process of Bhakti Yoga, which is to chant the holy name, and that is enough. And that is what Bhagavad Gita is also saying. Shri Stri Sudra Dvijabandhu, means anybody who follows the Bhakti Yoga will get liberation. But ISKCON is not, what we have to understand. ISKCON is not against the Vedic scriptures. So Vedic scriptures recommended the twice born Brahmanic initiation. So that is also done, but that is done for giving the ability for those people to do the Vedic, like the deity worship and all. But that is not mandatory for going back home, back to Godhead.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, very nice. So, very interactive discussion. We want to have questions like this. Thank you very much. Uh, this Grace Patitapan Prabhu nicely delivered the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Let's thank him by chanting 3 times Haribol. Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. So let's offer our prayers to Lord Darshan to give ultimate protection for all our congregation members and entire world. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukam Narasimham Vishanam Badram Muchor Namamyaham. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukam Narasimham Vishanam Badram Muchor Namamyaham. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukam Narasimham Vishanam Badram Muchor Namamyaham. Krishna Nrsimha Bhagavan ki jai. So let's offer our prayers for all assembled Vaishnavas who gave a wonderful association to discuss about this wonderful Srimad Bhagavatam. Vancha kalpatarobhyascha kripa sindhobhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. We wish you a very very happy Krishna conscious day ahead. Our next gathering will be tomorrow morning 6:30 a.m. Srimad Bhagavatam class. We'll have a regular Sunday feast on Sunday evening 5:45 p.m. Let's chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra enthusiastically and wind up the class. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. भगवान श्री कृष्ण परमात्मा की जय. अमल पुराणम श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. समवेद भक्त वृंद की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरि हरि बोल. हरे कृष्ण. We will see you tomorrow morning 6:30 a.m. हरे कृष्ण.